Yes.
Yeah, we agree with you. I think he makes a little of sense on that particular note as it is. But why would Sifuna deny that he's being, bankrolled by someone or is a project of someone? Because at the end of the day, we have political hands, back channels which are playing behind the scenes. And it's been that has been the perception of many Kenyans as well, that we have Uhuru Kenyatta behind him as the person who's bankrolling the Linda Mwananchi functions at the end of the day. So why would you startly deny it? Everyone is backed by someone at some point.
I think, Dibal, many a times we've had Caleb Amisi claiming that he's been the one bankrolling Linda Mwananchi. And we've also had Karoli Omondi confirming that he puts in Linda Mwananchi. So I don't know why people keep insisting that it must only be Uhuru Kenyatta. I don't know why some factions, and this conversation, this narrative comes from the government side, that it is Uhuru Kenyatta. And they say their argument is that Pauline Njoroge is there and she holds brief for Uhuru and speaks through Sifuna. I mean, Pauline has equal rights to be in whatever space she wants to be. She can one day equally go to UDA. If she goes to UDA, would we say that Uhuru Kenyatta is now dining with the president? No, we cannot base our argument based on somebody being somewhere. We must all agree that, number one, everybody has got equal rights to be in whatever political faction they want to be in. So then we cannot use Pauline's existence in Linda Mwananchi to justify that Uhuru Kenyatta's hand is there. Two, Sifuna is a politician and is a man of interest, and many people have got interest in him. Many businessmen and many investors in this country who feels like they have been overtaxed and the taxation cannot be justified, and some of them are on the verge of closing down their business, can equally so put their investments on Sifuna and Linda Mwananchi, because to some extent that faction has been carrying the bigger hope of this country. So then we cannot just sit down and narrow it down to one person, Uhuru Kenyatta. You get that? It doesn't mean that Uhuru Kenyatta is the only man in this country who's got political interest. Two, three, we've had I don't know the push and pull that has been happening between the president and the former president, but all Kenyans are aware that the two have not been seeing eye to eye for a long time. So then there must be a punching bag at each and every point, and that person cannot be Rigathi Gachagua of today. Because Rigathi Gachagua is already running his party and focusing on his own political organizations. So then, who next? Raila is not there. Who next? Who's the next man that we can put the blames on? But we are left with Uhuru Kenyatta. That's why you see this conversation comes from the center of the government, both broad-based, and particularly from the UDA faction. That Uhuru Kenyatta has on hand in Sifuna's ballooning and of course engagement and all that. But I think there is much to be done. There's much to be done. There's much justification that needs to be done.
But we thought also this sort of the conclave that they're holding in Wamunyoro right now, it is to make a concrete plan to try and rope in Uhuru Kenyatta, to make a formidable, also united opposition as it stands right now.
But before my brother comes in, Dibal, governments are formed on coalitions. Governments are formed based on agreements and collaborations.
Indeed.
Yes. Even William, before he formed this government, he called on people whom he thought that they can work together. The likes of Madividi, the earthquakes that we saw in this country, towards the last minute. Yeah. The people like Wetangula. So it is an open space. If Rigathi Gachagua can do conclaves and consultations and ends up bringing Uhuru Kenyatta on board, so be it. If William can otherwise convince Uhuru on the other side and jumps on the other side, so be it. But we cannot say that we are going to dictate on which side the former president must be. He's been a politician, he's a former president, he's fairly young, he's an investor in this country. So at the end of the day, even if he's not coming in directly, but at the end of the day, the man must have political interest. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. That's why I'm saying we should not also be greatly shy to associate with one who has political interest, and you are the one proffering the face of that person who is having that political interest, right? We should disassociate ourselves with this politics, or because I don't really understand why we should deny and people, because you don't really come as sincere. When people know and they can see clearly that there's something happening.
But now you see on the issue of Sifuna and Linda Mwananchi, The only justification from Kenya Kwanza's side that Uhuru Kenyatta's hand is there is a mere fact that Pauline Sifuna is in that faction. So I mean, for Pauline Njoroge. So if today Pauline Njoroge was to leave.
I like the way you've monikered Pauline Sifuna. Anyway,
so we cannot just use Pauline's lens to decide.
I agree. Thank you.
But like I said,